Hello guys, this is Moksha Shah from TE Electronics. So today I'll be showing you all an experiment on V2I converter with grounded and floating load. So first we'll be designing a V2I converter with floating and then with the grounded load. So over here for the floating load, you all can see in the feedback we have given a load and this load is not connected to any ground. Same thing is said over here, the resistor RL is not linked to the ground. So this is the floating load, and if we look at the calculations, IL is nothing but V in by R, which states that IL is not dependent on RL, it is independent. And if we look at the grounded load over here, your resistor is grounded directly, so one end of the load is always grounded. So that is grounded load for V2I converter. If you look at the formula, it states the same thing, that IL is nothing but V in by R, so it is independent of RL. If we see that the formula for both grounded and floating are same, this is because both have the same applications, but the problem is that floating load is nothing but used for the testing purpose or for matching the characteristics, so we use a floating load. Otherwise, if we look at the output, we get the same for IL. So the same thing we'll be looking ahead. If we talk about the voltage compliance rule, it's very important. V out should be between Vset plus Vin and Vset minus Vin in this range only. If we look at the standard values of Vin is 1 to 5 and IL is 4 millis to 20 milliamps. So we are getting the V out range to be 12 to 20 volts, and your V out is nothing but IL by RL. So RL you all are getting it as 600 ohms, beyond which if you go on increasing the value of RL, your IL will be affected. So it will contradict the statement of saying that RL is independent of IL, because this statement is only for the theoretical purpose. So because of which we use a voltage compliance rule, so that we get a proper output in which RL is independent of IL. So do not increase more than this, and if we go on doing this experiment further, you will get a clear picture of this, that what I am exactly trying to say on. R1 that I am getting is a 250 ohms, and I'll be showing you all for the input voltages 1 and 5 volts. So let's just start building the circuit. Just open the LTSpice. I have already built the circuit. So just ignore this part. This is the commented part. Just don't look at this. Just go for .op. When you go to the simulation card, it is similar. Just go to this part. Okay. Now I'll just show you all for 1 volt and then run. So for that, if I check, the IL value is nothing but 3.999, which is matching with my theoretical values. So RL is not getting any affected to IL. So if I check with 5, I run, RL that I'm getting is nothing but 19.99 milliamps. So same thing I have written in my word file. At 5 volts it's 19.99, and at 1 volt it is 3.99, that is approximately 4 milliamps. So if we go ahead, this is for the 1 volt and this is for the 5 volt of the floating. Now I'll show you all for the grounded. So in the grounded, I'll just open my circuit diagram. So this is for the grounded. Over here I've taken the value of RL as 250, as I have told you already. You can take the any values of RL, just see that it's not beyond 600. So if I run, so yes, for IL you are getting 19.439 milliamps, that is approximately 20 milliamps, and at 1 you all are getting it as nothing but 3.9999, that is 4 milliamps approximately, matching with the theoretical values. As you all have noticed that grounded and the floating has getting I'm getting the same IL values because they have the same formula, just the okay. So you can see over here 3.99 and 19.439. So this was about the grounded load. I'll showing you all the parametric sweep to get the understanding of why we are using this RL to a particular value only. So for the grounded, I just comment it out to spice. Okay, just I have right click. But to do this, what you all have to do is change the RL to a variable resistance and give it RA. Click enter and then go to the text box and type the same thing which I have typed over here, dot step param RA, and click on spice directive. Okay, don't forget to click on spice directive and then run. So I'll just remove this, click on yes and run it again. Yes, so for the IL value, as you all can see, my IL value is constant to a particular value of a resistor, after which it's not getting constant, your IL value is getting decreased for 1 volt. If I show you all for the 5 volt also, uh, let me show you all for the lesser volt, 4 volt. Okay, again you all will not get a clear picture. 2 is better, 2 volt. So this will give you a clear picture. Okay, so at this point you all can see your resistance is constant to a particular your IL you're getting at the output is constant, and after that it's going on decreasing. So at what value of RL? Yes, after 453 ohms of RL, your current that you are getting it's constant, but if you go on increasing, your IL value is getting decreases, which we don't want. So I'll just cross it out and I'll show you all for the floating load as well. So I'll just open. Yes, I'll just close it out, otherwise you will get a double taps. Okay, right click on this and I'll go to spice directive and click OK. So I'll run. So okay, over here I have not changed the value of RL, so that is important. I want to make it variable resistance. So RA. Okay, and now run. So yes, over here you all can see that your IL is getting constant till the resistance value of 400 ohms, but after which your IL is getting decreasing. That this means that your RL is affecting the IL, which should not happen. So because of which we are taking the resistance value, that is RL value, to a limited range. So this was about the parametric sweep, which gave you a very clear picture about both the loads. So yes, this was all about the floating and grounded load for V2I characteristics, a converter, sorry. Thank you.